Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. It is Saturday morning. Chill has begun. Because unlike yesterday, which was Action Friday, today it is time for more chill vibes and fun here on DSPGaming. Today is Saturday, the 9th of September, 2023, and I hope that you're all in a good mood. And if you're not, I hope that that will change shortly as I attempt to relax you. How is everyone today? I hope I find everyone well, and I hope that you're ready to relax, because today is definitely the day for that, as we have shifted games. Yesterday it was all action with Armored Core 6 and Street Fighter 6. Today it's the opposite. Today it's going to be the continuation of Starfield here on the first stream, and Chrono Trigger on the late shift, which we will talk about in a moment. We're at pretty interesting points in both games, I would say. Although in Starfield, we're arguably probably way early in compared to most other people who've been playing it for the last week. But it's all good. The pacing is fine as long as we're all having a good time. And so far, as I stated, the playthrough's been good, except for certain parts where it kind of isn't so good. The good news is you don't really have to focus on those parts for too long. And there's plenty of that Bethesda specialty content in there that's very entertaining, right? So I hope I find you all well today. Let's recap yesterday. Let's start off today with a little recap of everything that went down yesterday on the gameplay streams, because it was actually a really good gameplay day. For those who were not around or aren't caught up yet, you missed out because both streams went really well. All right, so first of all, Level 1 Podcast yesterday, very important one, because we talked about a ton of topics, including a ton of game news, scheduling stuff, but also my day off. Lots of stuff was covered. If you missed it, I strongly recommend checking out yesterday's podcast, okay? Today's podcast will be mostly interaction and chill, meaning we don't have a lot of news and stuff to cover today. It's going to be more kind of laid back talking with each other, okay? First gameplay stream of yesterday was Armored Core 6 continuing on. Now, after all the nonsense that happened last week, idiotic people saying dumb things about the playthrough, like somehow I was watching other streamers and copying their builds, which is ludicrous because I don't watch any other streamers until maybe like way after the fact of me beating a game or something like that. I've never watched a streamer play a game before I did, because that would spoil the game. So, yesterday we continued on playing the game exactly as I've always played it the entire time so far. New stream means take a look at the resources, what's available to do. And if there's new stuff available for purchase or new builds there, try them out. That's immediately what I did yesterday. I went from the tetrapod, which I had been using for like a stream and a half, to a tank tread build. During the course of yesterday's gameplay, I had unlocked a ginormous stun needle cannon as part of the story. It's not something that you buy. It's something you need to use for a particular boss. So after using it on that boss, I was like, gee, I wonder how effective this stun needle cannon would actually be like on normal enemies. Problem is, it's incredibly heavy. Even with the tank treads, I wasn't able to maintain my build that I had had before. My build before was dual miniguns and dual Songbird rocket launchers. So I said, let's just mix it up completely. Instead, let's do one minigun, and to lower the weight, let's do a assault rifle on the other arm. Not as good, but at least it still is something. And then let's swap out that Songbird for a new homing missile launcher. So that way we have, something to do when basically everything is kind of charging. Fire the homing missiles, you can still deal damage, right? Unload with the minigun and the assault rifle while I'm strafing around the enemy with the tire treads, or the tank treads, and then, boom, stun them with this cannon, and then they just get locked down, they can't move, and that's when you kind of unload on them. So let's try this build. And so we beat all of Chapter 3, and then unlocked a whole bunch of arena fights. I was able to do all of the arena fights in the game, all the way through rank S with this build. This build was incredibly powerful. I basically, I think it was B, A, and S. I did all three of them with this build. I was like, oh my god, this build is super duper good. So then we went into Chapter 4, and everyone was telling me, oh, Chapter 4 is where the game gets really hard, right? Chapter 4, Stage 1, I died once, and then beat it. And everyone's like, whoa. Yeah, because the only thing hard about Chapter 4 is there's a few things that, a few curveballs they throw at you. In the first stage, you have to drop down this ginormous column chamber, and things are shooting at you, like lasers and homing missiles. But once you figure out, hey, just try to hug the wall, then it doesn't really hurt as bad. And let's be honest, this game has a really good checkpoint system. So after I died, they let you start back at the top with full healing. Like, oh, that's not going to be so bad anymore, right? So basically, everything I came up against yesterday, even some of the stuff that was challenging, like there was a boss who had really good melee attacks, and he was very maneuverable, but every once in a while, he'd leave an opening, stun him, fill him with lead, right? Then homing missiles, stun him again, and I beat him, and everyone's like, wow. So now, we're poised. I think I've beaten 3 or 4 stages in Chapter 4. I don't know how many there are, but people watching the playthrough at this point are of 2 schools. One school is of, oh, the playthrough sucks because Phil's just doing too good. Now, I want you to think about that. The playthrough sucks because Phil is doing too good. Did I make the game? Right? I don't work for FromSoft. I just play their games. So if I didn't make the game, will you hold it against me because I'm doing good in their game, right? I didn't look up any builds. I'm just on the fly changing my build. Every stream I've changed my build of this mech. If you think about it, I started off with a very basic build with a blade and a gun and a couple missiles. Then I changed that up over time. We had the plasma gun and a bazooka or grenade launcher. Then we changed it up again to have the sword again. I had a better sword. Then when the miniguns became available, I changed to tetrapod and miniguns. Then I started getting better cannons. Now I'm a tank build. It's just gradual progression over the course of the game. You would think that's actually what they'd expect, right? That's what they would expect you to do, is gradually improve your mech. Now, for those who say things like, well, Phil's just listening to everything chat tells him and that's why he's doing so well. You haven't watched the playthrough. You're an idiot. Okay, I'm just going to say that. There was one time in the entirety of the playthrough that definitely helped with that. It was when someone said, buy a plasma gun early. They said, just buy it and have it. That helped me with the Baltius boss fight. Absolutely. I will admit that Baltius boss fight was the skill check of the playthrough. But once I beat Baltius, everything else I've done was just a natural progression with things that were made available to me in the game. Yeah, some people make recommendations. Say, hey, the minigun's pretty good, give it a shot. But no one's like, you should absolutely do this build to a T, like this, and you should follow it and do it for the whole playthrough. I haven't done that. So anyone who says that, you're a fucking idiot. You're a liar. All right? It's just because you don't like the fact that I'm probably doing better than a lot of people you've watched play, or maybe you yourself. You can't handle it. Oh, we got to try to justify the fact that Darkside Phil is coasting through Armored Core 6. There's no way. It's not a hard game. It's not. Are you ready for this? It's not a difficult game. It's really not. It's meant to be a game that as long as you are paying attention to the mechanics and you're constantly buying and upgrading your mech, and you're doing all those arena fights to have the other upgrades, like the healing upgrade, damage up, and stuff like that, this game is not difficult. There's a couple difficulty spikes in it, as tend to happen in FromSoft games. That Baltius one was literally the hardest thing in the game. Everything else since then has kind of been coasting. And that's not my fault. I didn't make the game. Just because, I mean, like I said yesterday, if you really wanted to argue, right, that all I do is I copy other people, I would have kept dual miniguns and dual songbirds. Yesterday I said, let's change it completely. Let's do a completely new build based on what's available. So I do tank treads instead of tetrapod. Get rid of a minigun, put on an assault rifle. Get rid of the songbirds, put on a homing missile launcher. Start using the stun needle launcher. Completely different build now. Yet I'm still excelling and coasting right through the game. So enough excuses. All right, the game is what it is. I didn't make it. The game is fun, by the way. I really like it. I could definitely see people playing this game 2-3 times with completely different builds trying to master them. Like, I've never used a railgun. I never really used charge weapons. Honestly, I haven't really used explosives that effectively either. I could definitely see all of those being used more effectively. There's also those reverse leg build where essentially you can springboard leap everywhere like an aerial ace, and I haven't really done that either. So there's many different things you could have done in the game that I haven't done yet that could lend themselves to more playthroughs. For what I'm to understand, if you play the game more times, more content unlocks. Like, there's actually secret content after having beaten the game 2 or 3 times that you can only see during those other runs. So there you have it. I definitely can understand why people would like this game and get hooked on it and want to play it more than once. I'm only going to play it once, all right? But I like it. Like, I'm actually significantly enjoying it. I'm actually glad that I've given it a shot and played it. But I'm not going to accept criticisms claiming that I'm just doing what the chat tells me wrong, completely fucking wrong, just a lie, all right? It's people jealous or angry that I'm not sucking at a game that they thought I was going to suck at, and I'm tired of trying to accept that kind of nonsense in my content. I'm just not accepting it anymore, all right? Everyone else on Earth can play a game like this and enjoy it, and if they do well, they get praised. If Darkside Phil does well at anything, he gets told that he's no good. So fuck you. I don't care about anything you say. You're worthless to me, okay? All right. So, sorry, I got sand in my eyes. That's what I'm trying to get out. So, Armored Core 6 rolls on, literally on tank treads now, and has been a great playthrough, and I'm really enjoying myself, and we'll continue on later this week. I think we're bringing it back on Monday. Monday's daytime stream. Yes, so I hope that you'll join me on Monday for more Armored Core 6. Will there be more difficulty spikes and challenges? I guarantee you there will be, right? I almost guarantee you the game's going to have a lot more of that, you know, as we near the end. Apparently the game has 5 chapters, and I guess we're nearing the end of chapter 4. So we're getting there. But I think it'll be fun, all right? As challenging as it is, I'm sure it'll be fun, and hopefully, you know, we'll see what happens, okay? Okay, all right. Now, last night in Street Fighter 6 was a complete and shocking surprise to me. I'll be honest with you guys. It was Friday Night Fights. And earlier this week, I had brought back Luke from retirement. You know, Luke I had only played with maybe a couple of times back on the Xbox. I was starting to get good with him. And then we kind of dropped him, and I never really went back to using Luke because I went to the PlayStation 5 and started focusing on getting Blanca and Honda to Master, which we've now done. So this week, people said, do something different. So I tried Luke the other day, and I'll be honest, I played Luke in casual matches, that is. I did all right, but not great. And I was like, you know, I wish I was better with him, but it's going to take a lot of practice, right? But then people were like, all right, well, why don't you bring back Lily? You haven't used Lily in a while, and you actually were doing really good with Lily back when you were using her. It's been so long now. Would you consider bringing her back? I said, you know what? For Friday Night Fights, why not? Let's bring back Lily. Let's see how I can do playing with Lily. So, yesterday we did that, and I started off last night casual play with Lily, just because I felt like I needed to get back into the swing of things, okay? And so casual matches, I played 16, I won 10, and I lost 6, all right? But during those matches, I was getting back into the swing of using Lily. I was starting to remember basic combos, basic strategies, things like that. And things were getting better and better as I played. And I said, all right, you know what? Unlike Luke, I've had way more experience with Lily. And therefore, because I've had that experience, I feel like I could actually do much better. So I think I'm just going to jump right in to doing, hold on, I'm refreshing the stats. Jump right into doing ranked play with her. All right, because if you remember, back on the Xbox, when I started, she was one of my starter characters. I had actually started in gold, climbed all the way out of gold through the ranks of platinum, and I had actually, by the end of me playing with Lily, I'd gotten all the way up to platinum 5-star, but that's when I stopped playing Xbox and I switched over to PS5, so I hadn't used Lily in about 2 months. I think it was actually like around middle of July, the last time that I had used Lily in like a ranked set, okay? So, starting over, let's do my ranked matches, right? So, we start with the placements. As you know, it's 10 matches. And every single match was against a high-grade platinum or diamond player. First match was against a 1-star diamond. I beat them. Next 2 matches, I believe, were against a 2-star diamond. I think I lost one and I won one. And then I lost another one. And then I think I lost 2 straight against a jury who just dominated me because jury's normals beat everything Lily has, which is ridiculous. Then I think I won like 1 or 2. Then I lost one. Then I won one. So by the end, I think I had won like 2 or 3 matches against diamonds and 2 matches against like 5-star platinums. But I lost 5 matches too. Now, if you compare this to me playing with Blanca and Honda, you would think that's about equivalent to how Phil did with Blanca and Honda. Like, seriously, that's pretty much the same. So he's probably going to get tossed into platinum again and have to grind all the way from the bottom all the way to the top again, right? Wrong. The game placed me in Diamond 1 star, the highest possible starting point in Street Fighter 6 ranked. What? So the characters I'm best with, they place me low. The character who I'm just okay with, they place me the highest possible placing. I'm just... Like, what is going on, right? So some people are now assuming something that I didn't know. They're assuming that when you first do your earliest placings in Street Fighter 6, it's based on nothing, and they're just going to generally place you lower anyway, thinking you need more practice because you're a newcomer. But once you have multiple characters in ranked, for example, I have both a Honda and a Blanca in Master, right? Maybe now the game weighs that against your performance in ranked placements with other characters and says, well, even though they lost 5 matches, look, they won a bunch of matches against Diamond players, and they have high ranks with other characters. Let's toss them right into Diamond, right? So maybe that's what it means. I don't know. But starting in Diamond with Lily, I was like, well, here we go again, because if you remember, back on Xbox, with certain characters like Ryu or Luke, just doing the placements, not knowing how to use them, I got right into Diamond. And I was like, this is not good. You can't toss me into the next highest ranking from master level and expect that I'm going to make progress when I don't know basics, right? The good news is I know basics with Lily. I was playing with her on Xbox. So I start playing, and guess what? Things go really well. Even though, admittedly, I was having some issues. I was dropping combos. I definitely was dropping combos, and I'm still confused about stuff in the corner with Lily, because sometimes I do a wall bounce with Drive Impact, and I can do a big combo, and then other times I try to do it, and it whiffs. They, like, float, and it whiffs, and I'm not sure what the game is expecting me to do in that situation when they're floating like that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Again, it's more about practice and learning that I don't know yet, because I haven't really used Lily that seriously in any capacity in the game yet. But anyway, overall, I did pretty well. I'll admit, top tiers are pretty tough to beat with Lily. You know, Ken's, Juries in particular, they're hard to beat. Juries normal seem to stuff absolutely everything that Lily has. Like, unless you get a pattern going early on, man, once Jury gets to mid-screen, it's like anything she presses will counter anything you press, and then she's a giant combo after. And on top of that, Lily cannot really anti-air Jury, because Jury's dive kick has this floaty delayed property that it mistimes when you're trying to do like a perfect anti-air. So it just seems like that's her mismatch. To me, like, that's a dominating match, you know. But in general, I did really, really well, okay? Xantar, I do shout out to the end of the podcast, okay? He did super chat. I do shout out to the end of the podcast, just so you know. Okay. So anyway, by the end of the night, listen to this. When I finally started playing ranked, I was Diamond 1 star, 31 wins, 12 losses for a 72% win-loss ratio. Within an hour and a half, I went from Diamond 1 star to Diamond 2 star. I was kicking ass. And everyone was blown away. They were like, dude, you literally haven't played Lily in like 2 months. How are you dominating in Diamond, which is the next highest class from Master? I'm like, listen, again, you got to understand something about people who play Street Fighter 6. Most of them don't possess fighting game fundamentals. Most of the people who are playing this game, it's, you know, they're either only played Street Fighter 5 or this is their first major fighting game. They're mashing patterns. They've seen videos online and they know basics, and they just try to do those basics over and over. And the moment the basics fail, they crumble. They don't know what to do. Most people standing mid-screen with me don't know what to do. They just have no idea what button to push or even how to go about doing anything. They just know a pattern. Now, if they have a top tier, drive, rush, and mash, and that's what they all do. But outside of that, you know, or if I go to a mix-up, if I start mixing them up, oh my God, am I drive rush? Am I going to attack? Am I going to throw? What am I going to do? They fold. They don't know what to do. Like, oh my God, what's going on, right? So, you know, it went really well. Just put it that way. And people were blown away. And by the way, I will say this about yesterday. Streams went great. If you remember, I was talking about how last week things went really well with memberships, things went really well with super chats, but tips were very low. And that's concerning because tips are something very important to my business model. That's my fluidity. That's what allows me to buy games. That's what allows me to do things on a weekly basis, like go grocery shopping, you know? And having a week where the entire week was slow, except for the premiere day of Starfield, was concerning. So I said, for this week, I have goals. Here's my goals for the week. I'll reiterate. We'll talk about this every day. Goal number 1, I want to hit 600 members by the end of the week. Yesterday was like member pinball day. Seriously. We started off yesterday around 530, 40 members. We went all the way up to like 560 something. Then on break, all of a sudden, we lost 16 or so members. So we were down to 540 again. Then on the late stream, people rallied because they really liked the Lily gameplay. And with all these gifted memberships, we went all the way back up to 580 something again. So it was like this all day. So then this morning, I turned on the stream. We're back down to 560. So again, here we go. Whoa, like the roller coaster. Whoa, right? So my goal is 600 by the end of the week. All right? I know we can hit that. With the new games I'm playing, with the fun stuff we're doing, it's incredibly possible to hit 600 members by the end of the week. Right now, we're at a good start. Please consider becoming a member or getting some memberships this week, okay? The other goal is that once a day, on one of my 2 streams, because I stream twice a day, I hit a tier 1 tips goal. That at least I hit a tier 1 tips goal for the day. That would be good, and that would help out. I need that. Like being honest here. Unless we have a day that's exorbitantly good, I really need that level of support. That's why I have the goals in place. And last week, we barely, I think one day after the premiere of Starfield, we hit like 2 goals. We hit like a tier 2. Outside of that, we weren't even hitting the tier 1 goal last week. Yesterday, we came back from that. Not only did we get a bunch of members and super chats, but we actually hit the tier 1 goal both streams. So thank you so much for that support, all right? If we can keep that going this week, that would be tremendous, especially because I have to drop over $100 by the end of the week to buy Mortal Kombat 1 so we can play it on Friday and start the story mode. So please consider contributing in some way. As you know, I'm a crowdfunded individual. There's no sponsorships, no partnerships. I don't get paid to play specific games, and the ad revenue ain't great on YouTube. It's all about the support during these streams. That helps me out. So please consider contributing to the streams in some way, particularly trying to hit that membership goal or tipping so we can hit the tier 1 tips goal during the stream. Either one would be tremendous, and thank you in advance for supporting my content. Okay. Now, let us talk about the schedule for the rest of the week, shall we? Okay. All right. So, we start off with today. Today is the complete and polar opposite of yesterday, right? Today will be Chill RPG Day, where we return to the world of Starfield here on the first stream. What are we doing in Starfield? We're currently in the middle of a plot line involving Paradiso, which is a vacation planet where people go, you know, to go on a holiday. And these settlers who apparently have been traveling in through the space, I guess through the galaxy for over 200 years, have shown up on the planet, and they're like, oh, well, we're trying to settle this planet. Yeah, but a lot has changed in 200 years. You don't really have entitlement to the planet because other people live there now. So what are you supposed to do? So you're supposed to be like a broker between the people who own the Paradise planet and these people trying to settle it to figure out what's the best option for them. So that's what we're currently doing. We'll probably finish that plot line. I think what we'll do after then, we'll return back to the lodge, and I'll probably do some crafting. I haven't done crafting in a while, so probably look and see, can I do new research projects? Can I craft food items? Can I craft, you know, any other things? Do all that with all the new resources that I found over the last stream or two, and then decide what I want to do next. I don't know. There's so much content in Starfield. There's tons of side content I haven't done yet. There's main missions I can do. I'm honestly not sure what to do next, so we'll try to figure that out. Again, with this game, it's a lot of chill fun. It's a lot of interesting stuff, right? So it should be a good time. It should be a good, relaxing time. As long as we focus on the things Bethesda's good at, right? Narrative, branching story paths, and that kind of stuff. The moment that we start focusing on things like space combat, that's when the game falls apart. So try to focus on the good stuff, right? Now on the late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is a continuation of Chrono Trigger. Now, full disclosure, we could beat Chrono Trigger tonight. If we wanted to, we could finish that whole playthrough tonight. There's no reason why we couldn't. We have done all the side content in the game from the original game, and we could beat the game, right now. I think there's the Black Omen dungeon, and after the Black Omen dungeon, there's the end of the game if you want to do it, and that's it. So we absolutely could, but we don't have to because there's more content. There's actually content that was added to this game during the Nintendo DS era, the 2000s, and that's present in the game. It's 2 optional dungeons that we can do if you guys so choose and want me to do them. It seems like people do want me to do them, but I don't remember what they entail or how long they are. So I can't tell you, maybe 2 more streams of Chrono Trigger and we're done, because I actually don't remember what's coming up. But I guess we'll find out tonight because people seem to want me to check them out. So I guess we will, okay? So that's tonight. I hope you guys will everyone who's a fan of classic JRPG stuff, please come by tonight and chill and support if you can, all right? Now tomorrow, Sunday, is React Day. That means we all head over to DSP Reacts, my sister channel, and on that channel, we watch a fun show called DSP vs. the Internet. It's a Clips React show where every week, members of that channel submit clips for me to watch, and it's a good variety of stuff. We have Ultra members who are guaranteed to get their clips watched. We have standard members who compete in a random select playlist, and it's such a big variety every week, you never know what to expect. It's a great show. I really enjoy doing it. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it as well. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for that on the main stream. Tomorrow night on the late stream, we will do more Starfield. Late night, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, here on DSP Gaming, okay? Monday, we go back to Action Day. So it's going to be more Armored Core 6, continuing on with Chapter 4. And then the night stream will be more Street Fighter 6. And I've decided, since we did so well with Lily yesterday, more Lily ranked play on Monday night. How will it go? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to watch more videos likely and play, and we'll see how it goes. But yes, Lily will continue on Monday night. Maybe we can get her even higher up in the ranks, okay? So that means Tuesday would be more Starfield and likely endgame / maybe the conclusion of Chrono Trigger, depending on how it goes. And then Wednesday's up in the air. Once again, we could do more Starfield or we could do more Armored Core 6. Really depends on what you guys want. Again, I don't know how much I have left in the game. Maybe if we're nearing the end of the game, people would just want me to beat it. I don't know, because again, I don't know how much is left. And same thing on Wednesday night. I'll leave it open. If it looks like we could beat Chrono Trigger, maybe we should just finish Chrono Trigger and end it. But if we already beaten it or whatever, maybe we'll do more Street Fighter 6. We'll leave it open and see what happens. Wednesday will kind of be the open day to see what we can finish up. Okay? Okay. I'm off on Thursday. When I come back on Friday, we'll be playing Mortal Kombat 1 Advanced Time, meaning I'm going to buy the Collector's Edition or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. Premium Digital Deluxe Edition. So we can play it early, and we'll start on Friday the 15th with the story of Mortal Kombat 1 on the daytime stream. And on the late stream, we'll either decide, do we want to continue with the story, or do we want to switch over and try the other new mode that was added called Conquest Mode. Now, I don't know much about it, besides apparently it's supposed to be like this single-player challenge mode with board game content, but it's like a lot of mini game challenges and things like that. I'm not actually sure, because I haven't really looked too much into it, but it seems like a lot of people might be interested in it, okay? Because it is something new. It's different. They used to always have something that was called, what do you call it? Crypt Mode. And the Crypt Mode was its own little world map that had different areas you would unlock via challenges and currency you would earn by doing things in it. And it was fun. It would unlock collectibles and customizables for your characters in the game. And it always added tons of content to the game. But they got rid of it this time. They have this new Conquest Mode instead. So I'm curious to see what it is. We won't know till we try. So Friday is Mortal Kombat 1 all day long. And it could either be all story, or it could be story and Crypt Mode, depending on what you guys want. Then Saturday, I'll probably do Mortal Kombat 1 again on the daytime stream. Night stream will probably break things up with variety. So whether it's Armored Core or Starfield on that late stream, we'll probably do that. Sunday will be React Day. And what we'll do is Mortal Kombat's going to get a lot of focus. My goal for next week is to finish the story of Mortal Kombat 1 during that premiere week. Apparently, the story is around 8 hours long. Being in line with how my streams go, that would mean it either needs to be 3 main daytime streams, or it could be maybe a mix of day and night streams, depending. But yeah, that's how it goes. Now, will I do online play? Eventually, yes. Yes, that's not my focus on this game, being honest here. I'm not a competitive player of Mortal Kombat. After playing the beta, I was really disappointed with the performance of the beta. It lagged like crazy and did not have good connections at all. So playing this game online is going to be a nightmare. People spamming things you cannot block, and just getting, basically typical NetherRealm online experience. It's always been like this. They've never really had a good online experience with any of their fighting games. And it seems like this game is just par for the course. Even though Street Fighter 6, their direct competition, stepped it up a huge notch earlier this year and said, here's a really great experience for everyone. It seems like NetherRealm's not interested in that. Whatever. I can't make them be any better. You know what I mean? I can't make them play better. So we'll see what happens. But I am going to cover it next week. All right? So we will have some good variety and fun with Mortal Kombat 1 mixed in with everything else next week. So expect the schedule to change and be based on Mortal Kombat 1, at least for that 1 week. And then we'll go more into a balance. Okay? Okay. All right. So there you have it. That's really what's coming up for the week. Outside of that, I don't really have any gaming news stories or anything for you guys today. I looked into it and I didn't find anything really on the internet going on in the realm of gaming that people already hadn't been talking about. What's funny is now more reviews are starting to come out for Starfield, and this game really is getting mixed reviews. Like, as you know, IGN and GameSpot gave it like a 7. A lot of other outlets gave it an 8 or a 9. But now more people are starting to review it who were not advanced reviewers, but who got the game at launch and have been playing it over the last week. And a lot of them are, again, they're reviewing it kind of mixed. I heard someone give it a 4, but some others are giving it like 6 or 7. So it seems like the more people play Starfield, the more they're realizing exactly what I've been saying. That very simply, this game excels at what Bethesda already excels at and kind of fails at all the new things they attempt. It really is a mixed bag. If you like the classic Bethesda formula of Fallout, of Elder Scrolls, you're likely going to enjoy Starfield. But if you were looking for something different, something improved, something groundbreaking, hell, anything with good graphics, you're at the wrong place. It really does feel like they took an insane amount of time to develop this game, and they didn't try. They really didn't. They just like, oh well, just do the same thing we've always done a million times. People will just play it because it's the same thing we've always done. So as long as they like our games, they're going to play it, right? Imagine if they came out with Mass Effect 4 today, okay? And it's exactly the same as Mass Effect 3, except they tried 1 or 2 new things and they're horrible. And by the way, the graphics look the same as Mass Effect 3. That's what this is, really. When you think about it, it's like, wow, you waited a long time to come out with a new game. You came out with it. It's the same as your other games, and all the new stuff sucks. So what happened? What did you spend all this time and money on exactly? I'm at a loss. Like, what? And again, I'm not complaining because I like the game. You understand? I like the narrative-based stuff that Bethesda does. I am a fan of it. So I'm enjoying the game. But I'm very curious of what the time and money was spent on, or have they just become a very inept game developer? That they don't know how to spend their time and money anymore. Their direction is all over the place. They don't know what they're doing, and that's why the game is so subpar compared to what you would have expected from like a system-selling current-gen game. It definitely doesn't feel like a system-selling current-gen game to me. And again, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to let you guys understand. There are good things about the game, but there's also very bad things about the game. It's definitely a mix on both sides, so I kind of get why people reviewed it all over the place. Okay? Anyway, yeah, that's really the only thing right now is that more reviews are coming out, and some of the reviews are kind of skewed, and so people are kind of like, gee, how could someone review it like so highly and other people review it so poorly? I think that's why. Because it really is a polarizing game, dependent on if you're a huge fan of the Bethesda formula or you're not. If you were looking for something groundbreaking and different, or you weren't, right? There's 2 sides here, and you go back and forth between them. I just find it really funny because the more I play, right? It's like, I really like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I really like this. Oh, I don't like this. How can I have a stream, a 3-hour stream, where there's always something I'm really upset about, but then there's other things I'm really enjoying. It's weird. It's very weird to have a mix like that. I guess I'm just happy to have things I'm enjoying, right? I really am. Like, I'm happy that there's things in the game that are enjoyable. Because if it was all shit, then I'd be pretty upset that they really ruined everything. You know, I would say this is the kind of situation where I don't think anyone came up a winner, but no one necessarily came up a loser either. If you remember, what everyone was talking about was this was a make or break game for Bethesda, right? This game had to be good because they haven't come out with a new IP in ages, and this one had so much time and money invested in it. Plus, it's got to be a good Xbox exclusive. There's got to be a reason to buy an Xbox console if you're a console gamer, and this would be it. So I'll be honest, I'm like, you know, is it? Well, if you're a Bethesda fan, yes, it is. If you don't like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, probably you're going to be upset playing this game, right? You're not going to get it. And I'm there with you. Like, I kind of understand where you would be coming from, saying, I don't get why this game, you know, anyone would care that much about it. But if you like that formula, you'll love it. So it really is dependent on your own subjective taste. Someone could give it a 10 and someone could give it like a 0. And you'd both be wrong because it's not perfect or abysmal. But you understand, I can understand why people would be that polarized with different opinions, you see? Okay. Anyway, that's my take. So, guys, that is it. That's all I got for today's podcast. We'll get to shout-outs now, and we'll see what you guys want to talk about today. We're going to open it up to Q&A discussion. We're going to have a lot of time for Q&A today since, you know, it seems like I got through all this stuff fairly quickly here. All right? So, Xantar is our first contributor of the day. A $2 super chat. Excuse me, my voice is still cracking from stupid allergies. We're actually getting new air filters for the house today. I finally looked online and I actually realized it's much better to buy them online. I can actually get better, stronger quality air filters for cheaper than what I was buying in the physical store. My one catch is I hope it gets shipped fine because it is air filter. Air filters are fragile. I hope they don't show up damaged. But as long as they don't, I'll probably continue to get air filters online moving forward. So anyway, I got those coming. We're going to put them into our air system and hopefully start cleaning more air out of the house. It was funny because like 2 days ago, I cleaned all of the filters on our air conditioners. Oh my God. They were absolutely disgusting. They were gray to black with dust, pollen, and soot. It was really nasty. So I'm glad I cleaned them all because they really needed it. But man, this means the air quality out here. Nasty. So hopefully these air filters come today and we can start cleaning the air out of the house again. And maybe that'll actually, you know, help me with my, you know, allergies, my throat and everything. Anyway, yeah, outside of that, you know, that's all. I really don't have anything to really talk about today. So Xantar, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, you need to fill us with your chill. Praise be. Well, hopefully you've been filled with chill. I hope so. I hope that that Phil has filled you with chill. Phil's chill fill. Phil's chill fillings. Philly fills you with the fillings of chill. What's up, Juan? How's it going today? Why not use reusable ones you can clean? I haven't even seen those. I search online for filters of this type. I have not seen a single one that says reusable, recleanable. I see the ones that say you're supposed to use them for like 3 or 4 months and you throw them out and you buy new ones. I've never seen cleanable ones. So I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe they do exist. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying when I search online and in the stores, they don't have that. I've never seen that. Yellow Crayon says, ever thought about how long it would take to get into space travel on a regular basis? Would you like to visit? No. I have no desire to go to space. I like to stay firmly rooted down here on Earth, in reality, in a nice life with my family. I don't need to take risks. I don't need to be skydiving, bungee jumping, skiing. I'm not a thrill seeker in any way, shape, or form. I never have been. I never will be. I like my life here. I don't want to go get rocketed into space, have a mistake happen, have all the oxygen get sucked out, have the eyeballs pop out of my head, have my head explode because there's lack of oxygen, and just my gore spewed all over the galaxy. No thanks. You know what they say? You want to know what the best motto in life is? Safe and sound here on the ground. That's the best motto you can have. You stay safe and sound on the ground. Stay the fuck away from anything where you're risking. There you go. In fact, I told you guys this before. I live in a bubble. When I go outside my house, I'm inside of a big bubble. They call me Bubble Boy. And I just roll around in this big protective bubble so that nothing can touch me. When I go out of my house, it's really, everyone makes fun of me, but I don't care because I'm safe and sound. You see? What's up, Jade? It's good to see you here today. I know that you think that Starfield's slow. You don't really like it. Why don't I like the space combat? It's boring. There's nothing to it whatsoever. You can't really evade because the ship is slow as dirt. Now, I'm sure later on in the game you get better ships, but the point is, for a new element to be fun, it should be fun from the start. Not, oh, space combat sucks shit when the game starts, but if you grind for 50 hours, you get a better ship and now it's fun. No, it should be space combat's fun from the start, so you want more space combat. You get it? Right now, space combat is slow as dirt. Everything's boring. It's very basic. There's nothing to it. It's annoying. It's like, why am I doing this? I don't like it. The star navigation, I don't like it. I don't like having to go menu and menu and menu, fast travel here, load here, fast travel, load here, go through this, back out of 4 menus, 5 menus, the menus, the menus. When the fuck do I get to play the game when I'm in the menus? I don't like the menus. The menus suck. They could have done a much better job with that shit too. Do you see? Excuse me. Linuli says, what do you think about Todd's response to people talking about PC optimization, saying you might need a better PC? I think Todd Howard is an asshole. Thank you, Frog Hemoth, who became a channel member this morning. That is our first new membership of the day. Thank you very much, Frog Hemoth. No, think about it. What's the difference? What's the difference between Todd Howard's response and Don Matrick's response during the launch of the Xbox One at E3 when he was asked, well, what about people who don't have a good internet connection? And he says, there's a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360, right? It's the same response. Well, fuck you. Spend more money, improve, or deal with it. Too bad we don't care, right? Well, you should care. You are the developer. You should actually care about the concerns of your customers and not be a snooty prick. Tractor D, har har har, has gifted a membership that went to Josh. Congratulations, Josh. And thank you very much to Tractor D for supporting the channel. We're now at 570 members. Like I said, our goal for today is 580 by the end of the day. Our goal for the week is 600. And you might say, well, why 580 today if you have another 4 days to stream? Because they're going to go up and down. We always have ups and downs, and I guarantee you more gifted memberships will expire. So that's why I'm trying to hit 580 by the end of the day. Jade says he loves seeing Ayla and Frog in Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I don't remember what these new dungeons are that we're going to do tonight. So I'll probably do a variety of characters. I'll probably mix up my party members and stuff. I think we're trying to unlock like the final abilities of each character now. And then once you have all the final abilities, I think then you can get the triple abilities, if I remember correctly. Lady says there's people who have stronger GPUs and CPUs than even me. They're still having terrible performance on Starfield. Yes, you can tell the game is not optimized. You can absolutely tell. Listen, they only had to design that game for PC and Xbox. That's it. Why does it run like shit? Even on Xbox. Xbox is a static development console. There's no variation between other Xbox's models. You know what I'm saying? There's a Series S and a Series X. You should have known that. So how in the holy hell, honestly, did they not design the game to run well on those consoles besides they couldn't get it to work because they're inept at what they do? It's that simple. There's nothing else to it. They're inept. They're not good enough game developers to make a game run well on that console. That's sad, but it's true. Luduli says Todd even said they don't care about optimizing it for the Series S. The funny part is, it looks exactly the same downstairs on the Series S my wife's playing on, and up here on my console. They look the same. The game looks exactly the same. So it sounds to me like they held it back on the X because they didn't want people to feel bad if they had an S, but now we all get the worst performance. Seriously. Uh, have I ever thought about upgrading to a bigger house? Do I need more space? No, I have more than enough space. My problem is, number one, I don't have the time to really do as much as I want to do with the space. For example, my garage, okay, is messed up. When I bought this house, the garage came fucked up. All right, the idiots who owned this house before me used that garage as a chop shop. There's disgusting stickers and shit all over the cabinets. There's oil stains all over the floor of the garage. But I work 6 days a week full time. I don't have time to clean up the garage. I would love to go out there and clean it up and make it our own and make it something we can actively use the space for. But I just don't have the time to do it. All right. On the flip side of that, since I moved here, things have broken down. I have a completely non-functional bathroom. I have a shower that doesn't work. It leaks. And if I use it, it's just going to make the whole thing fuck up and be destroyed. So I have a whole bathroom I don't use. Okay? I would love to fix that bathroom, but I don't have money to do it. You might say, well, you live in a good house, don't you have equity or whatever? Yeah, but look what's happened in the United States in the last several years. Monstrous inflation, and the Fed keeps raising interest rates. If I were to try to do anything with credit right now, like a refinancing or even taking out a loan, I'd be killing myself. Right now, I have a mortgage from 9 years ago that has payments that are insanely low compared to what I'd be paying now if I refinanced my house. So even though I have tons of equity, I can't do anything with it because the government fucked everyone over by destroying interest rates in the last 2 years. So I'm in a situation where it's like, I have a nice house, but I have things in it that are kind of breaking down. The cabinets in the kitchen are breaking down. I have a bathroom I can't use. And unlike other people who normally would be able to do stuff with equity, I can't do anything with my equity. I'm locked and stuck because of what the government has done. So I'm screwed. I'm in sadly a situation where it's like I just gotta wait, and maybe within a few years things will turn around, and hopefully then if interest rates dip again, and my credit continues to hopefully get better from where it was, because now it's not good, maybe then I can look to do a refinance of the house at a better interest rate and with tons of equity that I have, and then I can do things around here to make the house better, right? Maybe I can fix that bathroom, improve the kitchen, do the things we've wanted to do to make the house better for us. But as for another house, we have absolutely, positively no desire to ever move or get a better house. Seriously, we love this house as it is. It's good enough for what we want. We have unused space that I don't have time to really fix up and use. So I definitely wouldn't want anything else. No. No, I've said a million times we have landscapers. I don't know why you're asking that. There's landscapers here who take care of all the stuff outside. That's the advantage of living in a private community that's considered townhouse condos, is that all that stuff gets taken care of by the condo association. Any chance for a Chrono Trigger New Game Plus? I hate to say it, but it's kind of the same situation as we were in 10 years ago. All right? I love Chrono Trigger. I love playing this game with you guys and experiencing it, but we've got all these new games coming out, and people want to see the new games. If I'm going to be playing Armored Core 6 and trying to finish it, continuing with Starfield, continuing with Street Fighter 6, starting Mortal Kombat 1, starting Lies of P, DLC coming out for Street Fighter 6 end of the month, next month new games every week, how on earth are we going to have time to do New Game Plus and Chrono Trigger? It's just the same situation I always run into. Would I love to do it if I had unlimited time? Yes. But we just don't have time. It's time to end the playthrough and put it to bed and go on to new things, you see? Juan David Ortega, I don't know what you mean when you're spamming the chat saying earthquake Morocco. If you're saying there's an earthquake in Morocco, I'm sorry for the Moroccans. I don't know what you would expect me to say about it. I don't know why you're saying that. Hopefully people are safe, but okay. By the way, there was another gifted membership. Again, by Tractor D. This one went to Goldfish. So the first one went to Josh, and this one just went to Goldfish. So congratulations to Goldfish on the gifted membership. Be sure to thank Tractor D for the gifted membership. Good morning, No Sleep Real Vibes. Third Nostril says, do you believe it's true when people say something isn't going your way in life, it's 100% your own fault and solely up to you to resolve the problem? Number one, because there's two questions there. Are things always 100% your fault? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No. Things in life are not always completely your fault. There may be factors to something that goes wrong that are your fault, but no, not everything in your entire life is always your fault. I mean, there's always people who say things such as, if there is a God, how could God allow bad things to happen to good people, right? There's tons of people out there that things happen to them and they don't deserve it, right? What about a kid who gets cancer? What did the kid do to get cancer? Did they deserve? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, if something bad happens to you, it's because it's your fault. What? No, that makes no sense at all. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There are things in life that could be a result of your fault, but not everything, okay? Now, is it up to you to 100% try to fix everything in your life? Yes and no. I mean, ultimately, a lot of the times it is. A lot of the times you have to, sadly, sit down and really look at reality and realize probably no one out there really is going to help you. That in reality, a lot of people out there are out for themselves, not out to help others. And it's very rare in life where someone would actually go out of their way to give something to help and not expect something in return. I'm just being honest. Now, there are people who are like that, and there are times in life when maybe you will get that kind of help, and that's great when you get it, but you can't really expect it, right? I can at least say that I'm incredibly grateful and happy that in my lifetime, especially since I've been a YouTuber, that there have been people who have helped me out a lot during some of my lowest points. I would not be here today if it weren't for people who supported me over the years, especially a few years ago when I was in my worst financial part ever during that whole bankruptcy deal. You know, things were awful. There were times when if I didn't raise money on a certain amount of time, I wasn't going to be able to pay my mortgage. You know, things were going to go awful. And I'm through those times. I'm very grateful and happy that we are through those times, really. So thank you to everybody. I really, really appreciate for getting me through that. But ultimately, things kind of rely on your own shoulders and your own gumption. You can't just sit around saying, woe is me, life is bad, it's not my fault, I wish things would get better. Things will never get better if you just sit around saying that, okay? You have to actively do things for yourself to try to improve your situation. All right, so being proactive, being, responsive to bad things that happen and trying to get out of them yourself through hard work, diligence, determination, patience, lots of things, they all matter. A lot of people say to me, Phil, how do you to this day still make content when every single day there's insane amounts of nonsense on the internet about you? Because I just tune out the bullshit, I focus on the positive, and I move forward. And here I am loving life because of it. So obviously there's something going right, or else I wouldn't be where I am. There you go. During my next React event, can I try Gordon Ramsay's new TV dinners? What do you mean? You mean Gordon Ramsay is selling frozen meals? First of all, when do I try stuff like that? I don't do that anymore. You're thinking about DSP tries it from ages ago. I don't do that anymore. That show is defunct. When I have food, I call it Feasting with Phil. And it's essentially me trying out food from a real restaurant that I order or something my wife has made. I don't do DSP tries it anymore. I have no desire to be eating shitty frozen meals. Even if it have Gordon Ramsay's incredibly prune-like face on them, I don't care. So there you go. Any space in the schedule for Metal Gear Solid redo? No, not this fall. Maybe next year, not this fall. We have too many actual new games coming out. Mango, this is not a religious show, so asking me religious questions about my religious beliefs will not be answered, so you can stop spamming the chat. What's up, Habib Gaming? How are you? No Sleep Real Vibes, I would say we're going to be using Lily probably moving forward in Street Fighter 6 this week at least. Next week, I don't even know if we're playing Street Fighter 6 because it sounds like we'll be focusing on MK1. And then when Street Fighter 6 comes back, really it's what people want. Maybe they would want more Lily. I don't know. I feel like this week coming up, not now, but this week after with Mortal Kombat 1 will be an interesting week because you're going to have people who are going to say, continue with Street Fighter 6 or continue with Mortal Kombat 1, and you're going to have people arguing about it, and I'm not going to know what to do. I'm just going to kind of let people have it out and tell me what they want. You know, I like Street Fighter 6. I want to keep playing it. I want the climb to continue with various characters, but I don't really know how I'm going to be able to do everything at once. I don't think it's possible. You know, I think we might have a whole week without Street Fighter 6 for the first time since the game came out. Mr. Game Master just did a super chat. He says, do we need a Mario Odyssey 2 now since Wonder is done pretty much? Mario Odyssey 2, I would love. I told you guys ages ago I would want Mario Odyssey 2. Wonder is a great game, and I can't wait to play it. But I definitely would like a sequel to Odyssey. I really feel like, if you want to know the truth, I think what happened is Nintendo kind of shot themselves in the foot there. Because within 1 year, they released Breath of the Wild, and then they released Super Mario Odyssey. And if you had split those years, I think that Zelda would have taken prominence 1 year, and Mario would have taken prominence the other year. But because you released them both on the same year, people directly kind of compared them, and everyone was so blown away by an open world Zelda that people kind of overlooked this more interesting Mario. Personally, I liked Mario better. I did. I thought Mario was better than Breath of the Wild, and I guess a lot of people didn't agree with that take. But, you know, that was my take, my honest take on it. So, Joel Loft says, do you like pineapple on pizza? Yes, but only if it's a Hawaiian-style pizza with ham. I wouldn't want pineapple on pizza with other traditional pizza ingredients. I don't think it would go. The Blimp says, big props yesterday with Lily. I get the feeling you disagree, but I do think you got a significant amount of potential with her, and I think you need to work on some executions. It's a combination of execution and knowing what to do when you are at a distinct disadvantage. You got to understand that Lily does not have the priority. She does not have the combo ability. She does not have the maneuverability of the majority of the cast. So because of that, she has to rely on various different things in certain situations and understand that sometimes you will just the cards will be against you, and sometimes you'll be in a bad position and you just got to get lucky. And sometimes you won't. You know, a character like Lily is not going to be winning and dominating constantly. She's going to have rough patches where you're going to be facing top tiers that are just going to go spanking you unless you get lucky. And there's nothing you can do about that. You just kind of have to accept it, or else you're not going to be happy playing that character. You know what I'm saying? Broseph says, round table Maui Zowie pizza with pepperoni instead of ham is top notch. Yeah, I don't think so. I would want ham with pineapple. Lady says, thoughts on Assassin's Creed Odyssey team making another one in Japan with 2 protagonists? Sounds good. I don't know what else you want me to say. Sounds good, I guess, right? Hold on, I want to stretch my legs. Ooh. I see. This is battery stuff, which I don't need anymore. And buttons. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I just wanted to really stretch my legs. I tossed some stuff into the closet when I did. Joel Loft says, serious question. You've been playing Starfield for a while. I play a lot on PlayStation. Is it worth me to get an Xbox for the game? Again, I'm going to answer exactly the same way I've been answering the whole time. If you're a big fan of Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, if you're a fan of Elder Scrolls, if you like that classic Bethesda formula, the narrative-based game where when you're questing, you will run into people with interesting stories, interesting dialogue choices that will determine the outcome of the story, different ways to complete quests rather than just gung-ho firing guns, stealth, speech challenges, lock picking, all those different ways. And if you like a game where when you go through a universe, not only do you get tons of lore about all these different groups, but every time you go somewhere, more missions unlock. It's like this ever branching tree of content. If that's what you're looking for, that's Starfield. But understand, you're going to get a game that's not optimized, that has frame rate issues, that has really bad space combat, at least until you get a better ship much later in the game, and has a fast travel system that's laughable because this game acted like it was going to be a space game. It's not. It's a Bethesda RPG with a space setting, but really the space aspect isn't really interesting, nor does it really need to be in the game. You understand? But so don't expect this to be like, oh my God, if I buy Starfield, it's a groundbreaking game and it's really going to change it doesn't change anything. It's just Fallout 5. It really is. It's Fallout 5, but it just happens to be set in space in the future rather than a post-apocalyptic Earth. But it feels like Fallout 5. So if you're okay with that, get it. But understand it's going to have all the foibles and all the shortcomings of a typical Bethesda RPG. They didn't polish it. It's full of issues. And likely the game will get better over time in 10 years when they sell the 10th anniversary edition, you know. But for now, it's okay. It's good if you like the formula. So let that hopefully help determine if you want to buy an Xbox or not for it. No, Super Mario RPG Remake will not be groundbreaking. It's the same game. They've just added some new stuff to it, but it's the same game, you see. But will it be good? Probably. The original game is quite good. And with new graphics, some tweaked gameplay mechanics, and new music, it's probably going to be great. Tractor D is going crazy. Tractor D gifted a membership, and it went to Clyde Baxter. Then they dropped another 5-member bomb. And that one went to Sister Fister 5000, Unbiased Fan, Inara 0192, Estavo, Fritas, and Bink. So that's another 6 memberships. Wow. Well, thank you very much to Tractor D. We're now at 577 members. By the way, what I should do is check because we very well might have lost some memberships. Let's double check. That way I'm not false representing to you guys. I told you, my goal for today was 580. My goal for the end of the week is 600. Let's see how we're doing. Actually, we're at 577, so correct. All right, I had it right. We are at 577. That is an accurate number. Cool. All right, and if you're wondering, no tips whatsoever have come in yet today. That's why I haven't shouted out any tips. If any come in, I will shout them out. We have ample time here. We have about a half an hour to kill before we get started with gameplay. So let's see what happens. Again, my goal is once a day to hit the tier 1 tips goal. So I hope we can do that today and keep that momentum going. Hubby Gaming says, I hate summer. It's 30 degrees Celsius in the UK. I don't know how hot that is. What's the formula? Celsius to Fahrenheit? There's a formula. You take it and you multiply it by something, right? What's the formula to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit? Does anyone know? Because I'm curious what the actual temperature is there. Hello, Mega Manga Undertaker. How's it going? By the way, Tractor D just gifted like 2 to 3 more memberships. I'm going to let them settle in because they didn't show up in my leaderboard yet. I want to see how many it was. I didn't even get to see. But man, 86, it's the equivalent of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Ugh. So what's that formula? Hold on. .86 or 2.87. Okay. Now I know. So, what you do is you take 2.87 times whatever Celsius is, you get Fahrenheit. Cool. I got to remember that. 2.87. And remember this. Joe Aloft has actually you multiply by 1.8, then you add 32. Oh. Really? Multiply by 1.8, then add 32. How am I going to remember that? That's more complicated. I don't like that. How the hell am I supposed to remember that? Come on. Right? Okay. Anyway, let's continue here. All right, I got my first tip of the day. Adam has tipped me $5. Thank you so much to Adam for a $5 tip. Today will be a different kind of podcast, completely different from yesterday where I had all these news stories and things. Today, we just chill and talk, which is always welcomed. I like just relaxing with you guys in the morning. Before we get too heavy into any kind of serious gameplay, it's always a good thing to relax with the audience. By the way, I changed the color of the text to be a little darker. People have been saying that the text was too bright, so I darkened the color of the text in the leaderboard. Hopefully it looks a little better now. Abdullah says, here in the weather, where I live during the early noon, we get weather from 111 to 116 during the summer. That's awful. I'm going to assume you probably have monstrous amounts of air conditioning and stuff then, right? I would hope so. See, here, we're in the unique transitioning phase. We no longer are having summer weather, but we're not getting fall weather yet. We're in the middle. So nights are getting cooler, but afternoon is still hot. Like right now, it's like 78, 79 outside with sun. So I can't get rid of the air conditioners yet. I'm hoping within a couple of weeks it'll cool down to the point where we can completely get rid of the ACs. Then I can open all the windows in the house to get fresh air, and then we can start having different kinds of climate, you know, what's the word? Climate, not rationing, not climate control. A different kind of climate control. It's different from having the ACs in and out, you know. But we're stuck. We're in the middle. If I take out the ACs, it'll get hot again and we'll get screwed. So I don't want to do that too early. Mango Jewel Pods, thanks for re-upping your membership. I don't care about troll nonsense, so I'm just going to ignore you. Okay. Oh, Goldfish, I'm sure. He says, I have central AC. It's amazing. I'm sure it does. Thanks for making us all jealous. Yeah, Abdullah says, we always have AC running. Yeah, say we don't even have that here. I have indoor air conditioners in 3 different windows trying to cool the house down. If Starfield is Fallout 5, what was Outer Worlds? Outer Worlds felt like a variation of New Vegas in space, but definitely a little different. It did. It felt a little different than that. But I would say that was more to New Vegas. Well, this obviously is the natural progression of the last Fallout game. So this would be Fallout 5, but only in space. That's my take. Yeah, Joel Loft says there's a heat wave in Europe too. It's around 88 to 90 degrees. Like I said, it's not hot here. It's not considered hot. It's fine. The temperature's fine, but I can't get rid of the air conditioner because this room heats up crazy in the afternoons when the sun's beating on it. I need for the temperatures to go down to like the 50s or 60s. And then even with the sun, it's not that bad in here, and I can get rid of the air conditioners, and then we can change the whole climate of the house, but we can't do that yet. Actually, it has been raining here in Washington recently, which we needed really bad, so I'm happy it did. But now it's sunny outside again. We had a few days of rain, and now it's sunny again. That's why, you notice how bright the setup looks today? That's because the sun, even with the blinds closed, it's kind of coming through, and it makes the room look a lot brighter. Yeah. I received a $10 tip from Tip Top. Message is, how much tip would a tipper tip if a tipper could tip tips? If a tipper could tip tips, then a tipper would tip as much as a tipper could afford to tip. When a tipper wants to tip, they would support the stream with a tip that tips the top of the tips. So the tip top tip would be the tip that the tipper had just tipped. Thank you for the tip. Top tip. Or is it tip top? It's tip top. Thank you, Tip Top, for the top tip. Wait. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Tip Top, for the top tip of $10. I'm rapping? No, that was not a rap. Sorry. As much as you'd like it to be, it was not a rap. I'm sorry. I don't have thoughts on Jean-Claude Van Damme being Johnny Cage. There's no point. It's 30 years too late. But for people who are like 80s aficionados, they're loving it, I guess. For me, it's like, it's just a skin. It would be one thing if Jean-Claude Van Damme actually played Johnny Cage. Like, if he was Johnny Cage in the story, that would be amazing. He's not. It's just a skin and a voice. It's not a big deal to me. But a lot of people are freaking out about it. Good for them, I guess. You know, 30 years ago, or 25 plus years ago, when originally Mortal Kombat came out and they wanted Johnny Cage to be Van Damme and they couldn't get him, but now they got him this late. Oh. I received a $1 tip from Tip Top Tip and a Tip Top Tip. No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely not that, okay? I got a $1 tip. What are your thoughts on... Oh, wait, this is a troll meme. Never mind. It's just a stupid troll meme. Just gonna ignore it. Never mind. I ignore all drama and nonsense. We don't entertain it. I already have the Mantis Escanor. We have it. You haven't been watching the playthrough, have you? You haven't. Joel Loft says, tongue twister time. Give me the gift of the grip top sock, a clip drink trip shit, tip top sock. Not your spin slip, slapstick, slip slop stock, but a plastic, elastic, grip top sock. Or tongue twister. What are you talking about? What was so tongue twisting about that? That was normal. I don't know what you're talking about. You thought I was gonna get tripped up, didn't you? Have I been to a film studio? Yes, I have. Back when I was younger, I went to Universal Studios, Hollywood, with my parents, and you actually would get onto the lot, the filming lot, and you could actually see studios where they filmed movies. We actually drove by what I believe was the Psycho house, the house from the movie Psycho that was there, still on the lot. You could see it in the distance, and it was pretty cool to be able to see that kind of stuff. Check out the Narwhal, the most expensive ship in the game. Oh, yeah? That was just a level 1 tongue twister. Well, this is the level 1 podcast, so there you go. You toss me level 1, I'm going to master it. You understand? Try this one. Okay. Which switch the switch washes? Which switch the switch watches? Which switch the switch washes? Nothing wrong. It's fine. Literally, I know about that. Yes, people are saying if you build a ship in Starfield, and the way you can do it, which is really silly, is you can build it like a cube. Like, you ever seen the Borg cube from Star Trek The Next Generation? So build a Borg cube, but instead of it being a cube, just make it a frame. So think of like a 3D cube. So your ship has thrusters at the corners, and it's all corridors, but there's nothing in the middle. Basically, your ship is invincible, because the way that the targeting system works in the game is that all enemies target the center of your ship. So they just shoot through the empty center, and they can't hit anything. They'll never hit you. But who cares? That's not what the game's about. I love when people like focus on the fringe fuck about stuff rather than the actual important stuff in a game. Seriously. There's like, let's focus on this nonsense that, who cares about that? What about the core game? What about the ships you get during the course of the game? Are they any good? You know. Oh, well, if you spend all this exorbitant amount of 90 hours grinding, you can build a Borg cube that's invincible. Fuck you. Not all of us have time to do that, you stupid idiot. We want to play the real game. Right? Did you know that you can make the Space Maid from Spaceballs and she can suck all the air off the planet's atmosphere? I don't care. Nobody cares. We just want to play the real game. Okay? They did the same thing in fucking Tears of the Kingdom. You can build a giant death mech robot that will destroy everything in Hyrule. Who cares? Who fucking cares about your bullshit? Yes, and I could probably build a life-size house made of Legos the same as my real house too if I had infinite time and funds. Who cares? No one cares. Stop with the bullshit. Okay. Anyway, So let's see here. Let's check on members. We've hit 580. Cool. We're now at 580 members. So now we will arbitrarily bring up the goal for today to 590, but we've already kind of hit the goal that we were looking for. Of course, the question now is, will we lose any? Because that happens. You know, gifted memberships expire. But thank you, Tractor D, for all the gifted memberships this morning, getting us up to 580, which is what I wanted for the day. So thank you very much for that. Okay. Jade Van Zyl says, I'm 40 hours into the game. I didn't touch shipbuilding mechanics yet. I only did because I wanted more inventory space. I wanted more cargo hold. And man, that's the worst thing ever. That shipbuilding is atrociously bad. It really feels like you bought like a model or like a fucking Lego set. And you're completely restricted to the confines of the model building rules. You can't just have fun building what you want. You can't just, it doesn't even make sense. It's just, well, if this snaps on here and snaps on there and this snaps on here and you buy this, snap it on here. It's fucking boring. I don't want to see her building a Lego plane. I want to fucking make a ship with cargo. Just let me pay money to increase my cargo. That's all I care about. No, you can't do that. You have to fuck about with these parts that snap on and snap off. And here, I'm gonna snap in your fucking face, you dumbass game developer. It's not fun, you idiot. Who the fuck wants to do that? I just want to fucking play a video game. I don't want to build models. I don't want to, you know, fucking reinvent the wheel here. I just want to play a game. Is that okay? No, apparently not in 2023. In 2023, you gotta fucking completely do everything in its most convoluted, stupid way. Dumb. Good. If you like to build Gundam models, good for you. Build your Gundam model away from fucking Starfield. Don't make me build a model in Starfield. If I wanted to do that, guess what I would do? Buy and build a model. I've done it before. When I was a kid, I loved Legos, and I had this really awesome model of Venom that I built with my dad. It was an acrylic model. You glue all the pieces together, acrylic paints and everything. It looked really good. We loved it. I had it on display for years and years. Really cool model. I don't need to do that in fucking Starfield. All right. Anything else, guys? Nothing else to shout out right now? Any other questions or feedback or anything to talk about today? Oh, they will, Joe Aloft. He says, I'm expecting loads of immature players will build giant phalluses. Of course they will. That's probably the first thing they did. Tits and dicks. That's all that goes in their mind. Tits and dicks, right? It's like, wow, you're really the epitome of society. You're the cream of the crop. There you go. Excuse me. Oh, let's see here. Another troll. Escanor says just because you don't like it doesn't mean that others don't enjoy it. Didn't say that. What I'm saying is don't force me to do it. So, for example, a major problem in this game is inventory. Everyone will agree. Inventory space is still a problem. Managing inventory is still a problem. We all know that. Everyone said that about the game. No one disagrees that inventory is still a problem in Bethesda games. So, what's the first thing you're going to want to do? I want more inventory. Well, how do you do it? Well, you go to the spaceport. Can you buy more inventory? No. No. You have to go force yourself to go into the shipbuilding and try to snap on, snap off cargo holds and rearrange this to that. But I want to do that. I just want more inventory space. That's all I want. Not allowed. A simple thing that everyone in every fucking Bethesda game has always wanted cannot easily be done in the game. They fucked up. It's a huge problem. They need to use their brain, their noggins, and say, what do gamers want? Give it to them easily. Don't make them jump through hoops. Don't force them to do a system they don't want. Listen, if you want to completely customize your ship, go for it, and I'm happy for you. You know, maybe somewhere down the line, when I'm 80 hours in, and I've got insane amounts of resources and things that have been bonuses that have been unlocked and all kinds of shit, maybe I would want to do it too. But I don't want to force myself to fuck about with that when I have all this content untouched and I can't play it because I got to fuck around because I have no inventory space. You know? A lot of people have given up. They just throw a bunch of shit on their ship's floor, say, fuck this, just toss it on the floor because they just don't want to deal with this nonsense. 2023, Bethesda doesn't know this is what people want yet. How much time and money did they put into this game and they don't understand inventory space yet? Wow. That's pretty remarkable. The Red Gamer, please go watch my playthrough before you say dumb shit. Thanks. That's all I'm going to say. It's the dumbest thing. Just go watch the fucking playthrough. Okay? Don't say that there's things in the game that aren't. Just watch my playthrough. Thanks. Okay. There we go. I just got rid of an impersonator. Good. In terms of galaxy building and story characters, would you recommend Mass Effect or Starfield? You can't ask me that question yet. I'm only 14 hours into Starfield out of a game that arguably people have said it'll be at a minimum 60, if not 80 to 100 hours if you do count all the content. There's no way I can answer that question. You're asking someone who played 3 mainline Mass Effect and a spin-off game versus 12 or 14 hours of this one. You know, I have to play way more before I can make those judgments. But again, I'm telling you, the comparison here is it really does feel like you're in the same universe as, say, Fallout or Elder Scrolls when you play this game. It definitely feels that way. Okay. What they're saying is you can rush through it and beat the story in 20 hours, and then you go to New Game Plus, and apparently when you play the game in New Game Plus, it's much better than your first run, but then you've already seen the story, you see? So I don't want to do that. I want my first run to be an honest run with all the content, the exploring and everything. Maybe at one point, years down the road, we choose to do a New Game Plus that might even be better, because I don't want to spoil. I guess people are saying it's a spoiler to explain why New Game Plus is better. I don't want to know. I don't want to be spoiled. I just want to play the game, you know, legitimately at the first run, so. What do I think about the fact Diablo 4 has less than 1K viewers on Twitch right now? Dude, Diablo 4, I told you. I knew that was going to happen, but a lot of people wanted to disagree with me. I told you guys I didn't think Diablo 4 was going to be that big. I didn't. I thought it would be big on PC for a short period of time, and then as other games started to come out, no one was going to care about it. I told you this. Diablo is the kind of game that back in the day was addicting and fun. Today, we have many more advancements in gaming. That formula is not going to hold anymore. You understand? Anyone who wanted to play Diablo 4 did 2-3 runs already. They're done. There's nothing else to do in the game. They don't care. There's nothing, you know, it's not like an MMO with endless content. You've seen it all. What else are you fucking doing in Diablo 4 right now? Right? No, I never played Escape from Tarkov. People mention it, don't know really what it is. I never played it. Oh, yeah? Kalina Dog says, New Game Plus can turn out pretty crazy story-wise. It can completely change aspects of it, worth it in a different save. Yeah, so people are saying that, I guess, once you beat the main story and you start New Game Plus, the second run will be better than your first. But then your first run is like you skipped everything, right? Because if you did everything in your first run, you did all side content, everything, and then you beat the story, it's like 100 hours. Do you really want to go back and play the fucking game again? Right? So, I don't know. It kind of doesn't... It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't get it. Escape from Tarkov is a more realistic version of PUBG. Oh. No, I never played any Leisure Suit Larry games. I knew what they were, but I never played them. Anything else, guys? It's around 12:30. We could end the podcast if you guys are done, unless you got more questions for me. Right now, nothing to shout out. We've shouted out everything that has happened, so it's up to you. Again, just a quick reminder. Today, the goal for members has already been hit for the day. You know, it's 600 by the end of the week, so any more would help a lot. But today, the real goal here is this. I want to hit Tier 1 Tips Goal. If we can hit the Tier 1 Tips Goal on today's stream, that would help a ton. I mean, if we get any more than that, great. But the goal is to hit the Tier 1 Tips Goal at least once a day. Please consider tipping today if you want to help out and support the streams. That's the best way to do it right now, okay? Thank you. Willow, happy birthday. If indeed it is your birthday, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have something special planned. You have a good day. Did I play point and clicks? If I do I have a favorite? I never played them back in the day. I only played them for YouTube. I think the original one that I played was Monkey Island 1 and 2, Secret of Monkey Island. And then after that, I played Grim Fandango. I played Myst. I also played the Broken Age. And out of all those, you know, I remember the original Monkey Island was incredibly frustrating but fun once you figure out the quirky answers to stuff. I think Grim Fandango was really good. I can't remember it that well, but I think I really liked it. No, I'm never playing Cyberpunk ever again. Don't ever ask me that question ever again. I'm incredibly upset. No One Lives Forever? Did I play No One Lives Forever? I don't think so. What is that? I did get a, someone says, what about merch? Will I ever bring back merch? Interestingly enough, a couple months ago, one of you guys asked me that question. And I said, all right. So I went out and I found one of these merch companies that makes merch for streamers. And I sent them an email, you know, explaining my situation. I said, here I am. Here's my content. Long time, you know, content creator. Fan base who would probably want to buy some merch because I haven't had some for years. But here's the situation. I got this toxic cloud of harassers. They do follow me around. And although everything they say about me is false, they do try to harass people who have association with me. Likely this is why, you know, any previous merch that I had, you know, working with a company for 5 years, why they probably cut ties with me, you know, would you consider, you know, having me in and to make merch on your site? And I got zero response. Zero. It wasn't no, it wasn't yes, it was zero response. So you know what that tells me? Basically, they didn't say no. So what that tells me is basically they don't want to say either way. Let it happen, and if I were to join one of these sites and start making merch, great. But then if they start getting complaints over nothing, you know, what would happen? I don't know. So again, unless I get an absolute, yeah, don't worry about it. We don't bend to fucking moron trolls. We just, you know, we're a merch company. We're here to make money. So go for it. Unless I get that answer, I'm not going to waste time. Because why would I waste everyone's time, have people designing stuff, uploading merch, people trying to buy, and then within a few days it gets shut down? It would be a waste of everybody's time. So what's the point, right? So, Yeah, unless someone has a suggestion of a site that knows that they'll handle that kind of stuff. But no one's given me any suggestions. Literally, I've not got a single suggestion of a business that, makes that kind of merch that would be okay with people getting harassed online. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucked up because you know it's going to happen, right? Third nostril, what are you talking about? It says, why don't you hire an artist? What on earth does that have to do with anything? The problem is not hiring an artist to make the art. I have art. The problem is a website that won't kowtow to a bunch of trolls saying, oh, this person's bad. Look, here's a clip from 13 years ago out of context. Look, here's stuff that he's done over the years that people don't like him for. And here's all the things people accuse him of that aren't true. But here's all this nonsense. And they say, oh, well, we don't want to deal with this person. And then they shut my store. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with the quality of the art, which you said was incredibly stupid. Okay. All right, so I received a tip, an $11.95 tip. It says, keep up the good work, F the trolls. Thank you very much. The anonymous $11.95 tip. Appreciate that. So is that the biggest tip of the day? 11, I think it is, right? Yes. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Stupid allergies, man. Ugh. When am I going to have guests on the podcast? It's not that kind of podcast. Not every podcast is a podcast that has guests. We have more than enough to talk about literally every day. It's not like we're dying for content here. We have tons of stuff to do, right? We have not had a single day of the podcast where we're like, well, we're bored, nothing to do. Oh, well. We actually have way more than enough to do, right? Broseph just did a super chat. He says, better cheesy 2000s rock band, Nickelback or Creed? I liked Creed. Before I knew about, I guess his name is Scott Staff, I believe. Before I knew about what a piece of shit that guy was. And how badly he treated everyone around him and was a real abuser and everything. I liked the band. I thought that it was a really great band. He had great vocals. Their music was outstanding. They actually were really talented. It's just a shame how that band fell apart when the lead man becomes a piece of junk, right? Okay. I received a $5 tip from Canadian Kirk. Do you listen to music via radio or Spotify or YouTube? What do you listen to these days? When I'm driving around in my car on the days off doing errands, I either listen to classic rock radio station or like a 1980s radio station. Okay? When I'm at home, I don't actively listen to music, but at nights before it's time for like bed, my wife will usually turn on a random YouTube station. And usually it's like relaxing music, like some jazz music or something like that, just to kind of relax before we go to sleep. Every once in a while, I'll listen to like maybe some retro game music or something like that as well. It's usually not that often, but every once in a while just for variety if there's, something going on. Excuse me. Joel Loft, I saw what you said. You said something about a retro throwback FPS game. No One Lives Forever. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't think I've ever played it. No One Lives Forever. Oh, I've never seen this before. Yeah, I've literally never seen that. Wow. Didn't even know it existed. Super. Oh, it's from the early 2000s. No wonder. Yeah. 2000 to 2002, the series ran. Gotcha. Didn't even know about it. Didn't know it existed. Interesting. No, I don't like Slipknot. Would I consider playing those new games on my mini PC? I have no idea. You guys are the ones who will give me feedback and determine what kind of stuff I end up playing in the future on my mini PC. So if that's something you want to see, you let me know. But, you know, I don't know anything about it. Plans to replay Half-Life 2? Why would I replay Half-Life 2? We played them all and all the expansions up until they stopped and never finished. So I don't know why I would play it again. Lanuli says almost a year ago, Epic delisted their old Unreal games. What's your thoughts about it in a game preservation perspective? I don't know. Is there still a way to play them? You know, the original Unreal game was all right. It actually wasn't that good. It was groundbreaking graphics at the time, but gameplay-wise, it was a little frustrating. It wasn't until, for me, I didn't like Unreal until Unreal Tournament came out. I didn't really care for Unreal as like a single-player FPS experience. I cared about it when it became a competitive game, because then it started having cool vehicles, great maps, cool double-jumping, crazy action gameplay, awesome weapons. I really liked it in that respect. So around the Unreal Tournament era is when I really got into it and started really liking PC gaming. That's when I had multiple PCs that were networked in my parents' house across the hallway from each other, and we'd be playing against, you know, against each other. My friend would come over, and him and I would jump into the same server and play together fun FPS games. We were having tons of fun with them. But I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if these games are not able to be played or what. Piracy, or if you have the old DVDs, that's it. So you can't play those games anymore? Is the Snake Eater remaster on my list? The remastered is not... If you're talking about the one they're remaking, yes. There is no remaster. The collection they're coming out with, it's the same game everyone already played from the PS3. They didn't change it. There's no improvements. It's literally the same exact game, just ported. So there's no reason to play it. I could play it right now. You know? The remake of Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3, yes, I want to play the remake when they redo it with better graphics, improvements. That one I'll play. I'm not going to replay the same game again. There's no point. Oh, really? Mark Thomas says there's a humongous Nintendo Store sale going on right now, up to 90% off Switch games. Oh. Like what? Anything on there people would be interested in seeing me play? I don't know about it. No, I didn't address any rumor that GTA 6 will be $150 because I haven't heard about it. Or nor do I really have to comment about a rumor. It's a rumor. Rumors are rumors for a reason. Did I watch Toonami growing up? Growing up, no. Toonami didn't really start until later on. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z on there when it used to be on, and that was about it. I think that was the only thing I ever watched on Toonami. I used to watch late nights. They used to have things like Inuyasha and stuff like that on late nights Cartoon Network. But I don't think that was Toonami, was it? I don't think so. But I think the only thing I ever watched on Toonami was Dragon Ball Z back in the day. Okay. Alright, guys. Thanks for a great pre-stream fun podcast here today. I think that we had a good chill time. As I said, there's days when I have tons to talk about and the show is good, and then there's days I have almost nothing to talk about and the show is still good. And that's the cool thing about this show, that every day it's something different and you guys still enjoy it and I still enjoy doing it, all right? So, thank you so much for watching the show. Hope you enjoy. Tomorrow, one quick reminder, tomorrow's reality. Tomorrow's React Day. Please, if you're a member over on DSP Reacts, you gotta nominate your clips by the end of today's streams. It is the end of the late stream of Chrono Trigger. I'm gonna be setting up the playlist for tomorrow. If you don't nominate your clips by then, they're not gonna make it. So please nominate your clips over on DSP Reacts. All right. Outside of that, thank you all for a great podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow we should have some updates on how Starfield and Chrono Trigger went and other gaming news as well. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Peace out.